Cats are incredibly fascinating creatures, often displaying behaviors that leave us scratching our heads. One of the most noticeable and common reactions that cats exhibit when they feel threatened or scared is arching their backs. This behavior, where they puff themselves up and curve their bodies into an exaggerated, arched shape, is something almost every cat owner has witnessed at one time or another. It's a classic defensive posture, and while it might look a little comical at first, it actually carries deep evolutionary significance. In fact, the way a cat arches its back when scared is a clever survival tactic that has been honed over thousands of years, to understand why cats arch their backs in the face of danger. It's important to look at their evolutionary history. Cats, both wild and domestic, are predators by nature, but they are also prey to larger animals. Throughout their evolution, they developed a number of survival tactics to keep themselves safe from threats. One of these tactics is to make themselves appear larger and more intimidating to potential predators or rivals. When a cat arches its back, it's performing an instinctual behavior meant to give off the illusion of being much bigger and more threatening than it actually is. This defensive posture works similarly to how other animals, such as porcupines or cobras, make themselves appear more dangerous to ward off potential threats. The cat's arched back causes the fur along the spine and shoulders to stand up, a response known as piloerection. This creates the appearance of a larger, more imposing figure. To an animal approaching from a distance, a cat that appears larger and puffed up may seem like a more formidable opponent or one that's ready to fight, rather than one to be attacked. Interestingly, this same mechanism is not just meant to scare off larger predators but can also be used to warn other animals in a territorial dispute. When a cat is confronted by another cat or a rival animal, arching its back is a visual signal that says, "Back off, I'm not an easy target." It's not just about the physical act of arching, but also about the behavioral signals that come with it. Cats often follow up the back arch with a series of other defensive gestures, like hissing, growling, or swatting. All of these actions combined send a strong message to any onlookers that this cat is prepared to defend itself. The idea is to convince the other party that it's not worth trying to mess with them. Beyond its effectiveness as a defensive gesture, arching the back is also linked to a cat's ability to protect its vital organs. By curving their spine and making their body more compact, cats reduce the risk of injury to their abdomen. The vital organs, such as the heart, lungs, and stomach, are located in this area, and they're extremely vulnerable to attack. The arching behavior is a protective reflex, enabling cats to shield these crucial areas while also getting themselves into a position to flee if necessary. In the wild, a cat's ability to run away from danger is just as important as its ability to fight, and the arched back is part of this survival strategy. It helps the cat maintain its balance and posture if it needs to spring into action or quickly change direction. This posture is most commonly seen in situations where the cat feels trapped or cornered, unable to escape from a perceived threat. Cats, by nature, are often cautious and prefer to have a clear escape route at all times. When they don't feel that they can easily flee from danger, they tend to stand their ground and put on a show of force to intimidate the threat. Arching the back, along with the other defensive behaviors, can often convince a would-be aggressor that it's better to back off rather than engage. It's important to note that arching isn't always an indicator of fear. While it is commonly seen in response to a perceived threat, it can also be a sign of excitement, overstimulation, or even pleasure. Cats are unique in how they express their emotions physically, and sometimes an arched back can be a sign of a cat that's excited or ready to pounce. This behavior is often seen during playtime, when a cat gets particularly energized and starts to hunt its toys. The difference between fear-induced arching and play-induced arching lies in the context and the accompanying body language. For example, if a cat's back arches and it immediately starts hissing or growling, it's a good sign that the cat is scared or feels threatened. But if the cat is relaxed, with its ears up and its body poised in a more playful stance, then it might be simply preparing for a pounce. One of the reasons the back arching response works so well as a defensive tactic is due to how animals perceive size and aggression. Most predators rely on visual cues to determine how dangerous or difficult a potential prey item might be. By arching its back, a cat is essentially fooling the predator into thinking it's much larger and stronger than it actually is. This illusion of size and strength is amplified when the cat's fur stands up, further exaggerating its form. In many cases, predators are deterred by this display, as they often prefer easier, less risky prey. The cat's ability to use body language in this way demonstrates how finely tuned its survival instincts are. The behavior of arching its back when scared is also connected to the cat's spinal flexibility. Unlike humans and many other animals, cats have an incredibly flexible spine that allows them to arch and twist their bodies in ways that seem almost unnatural. This flexibility is not only important for agility when hunting but also for defensive purposes. An arched back helps a cat maintain balance in a precarious situation, which could be crucial if it needs to quickly escape or pounce. The spine's ability to stretch and compress gives the cat a remarkable ability to spring into action at a moment's notice. This makes cats particularly skilled at making the most of defensive postures like the back arch, allowing them to react quickly and effectively to threats. When cats are feeling threatened, it's not just their backs that arch, their whole bodies react in a complex series of movements. The tail will puff up, the ears will flatten, and the cat will often lower its body, preparing to strike if necessary. These physical changes all send signals to the threat, warning it to stay away. A cat that arches its back is not necessarily looking to fight, but rather to intimidate and create distance between itself and whatever is causing fear. This complex set of behaviors makes the cat an efficient defender of its own safety and territory. Interestingly, the back arch isn't always a reaction to external threats. Cats can also display this behavior in response to being handled in a way that they find uncomfortable. For example, a cat that doesn't like being picked up or restrained might arch its back in protest. This can happen when a cat is overhandled or feels trapped, even if the person or situation isn't inherently dangerous. In this context, the arching is more of a defensive response to perceived discomfort rather than an attempt to ward off a predator. For pet owners, understanding why cats arch their backs can help build a better relationship with their feline friends. By recognizing when your cat is scared or feeling threatened, you can avoid putting it in situations that might make it feel cornered. Being mindful of body language is crucial in understanding how to approach or interact with your cat in a way that makes it feel safe and secure. Similarly, knowing when your cat is arching its back as a form of play or excitement can help you better interpret its needs and energy levels. In the end, a cat's ability to arch its back when scared is a complex behavior that plays a crucial role in its survival. It's a visual signal that makes the cat appear larger, more intimidating, and ready to defend itself. Whether they're trying to fend off a predator, establish dominance, or protect their vital organs, cats are incredibly skilled at using their bodies to communicate and survive. This instinctual behavior is just one of the many remarkable features of our feline companions, reminding us how deeply ingrained their survival skills are, even in the safety of our homes.